Hi guys, it's me, Cypher Otsutsuki here, and today we'll be doing part 3 to what if Tanjiro was an Otsutsuki. So, I want to say thank you for 950 subscribers, it means the world to me. So, without any further ado, let's get right into the video. Last time we saw the hand demon and the tambourine ball demon attack Tanjiro at Lady Tamayo's and Yushiro's place. While they were there, Tanjiro ascended into his true Otsutsuki form, which he used to kill them and then was accidentally mistaken as a demon. So, now we're moving on. So, we're going to start this part off with Tanjiro going to the forest, the spider forest, to be more specific. In this forest, Tanjiro, everything goes to canon, basically. Yeah, everything goes to canon except the way that Tanjiro kills the demon. He usually just kills it with a silent rain, but this time, he does something kinder. He uses the ability he recently unlocked, and he heals the spider demon, or the spider sister, setting her free of being a demon. Oh, she's not free of being a demon, she's still a demon, but she doesn't have to eat humans. She doesn't have to obey, Muzan. She's also, immune to sunlight now, but, so Tanjiro tells her to run off, be free, like she should be. So, she does that, and they go on to fight Rui, the Loreman 5. So, while Tanjiro... So the fight goes pretty much to canon. Except, this time, Tanjiro once more descends into his Otsutsuki form. And bear in mind, his Otsutsuki form, his hair doesn't grow out, but he looks very similar to the spider demons. So, once that happens, he looks very similar. So, Rui thinks that he's a demon as well and tries to say, join our family with your sister. And Tanjiro, he's kind of in a state of rage, so he holds up his hand and he fires off an ash bone pulse, killing Rui instantly. So, Rui is dead with an ash, turned to ash. So, Tanjiro then kind of faints, and at this point, this is when Giyu will arrive, seeing Tanjiro on the floor passed out next to Nezuko. Tanjiro will wake up, and let's say before Shinobu arrives, Tanjiro wakes up, and he remembers what he did in his Otsutsuki form. It just took a lot of energy out of him. So he's like, I did that, looking at his hands. He feels like he has to learn this power, so he will. Giyu asks him what happened, and he says that he turned the demon to ash. So Giyu thinks that, he killed it and it evaporated, but he's calling it ash. So he doesn't think much of it. Then Shinobu arrives, and she sees Nezuko, and she instantly tries to kill her. Of course, Tanjiro then appears, and out from his arm appears a chakra rod. So Tanjiro uses a chakra rod to block the Nichiren sword. And of course, he could have used one of his, many swords that's floating on his back, but he chose not to. So Shinobu's like, are you a demon as well? Tanjiro says no. And he finally comes up with a name. He says, I'm an Otsutsuki. Now, of course, Shinobu's kind of silent for a second. It's like, the fuck is an Otsutsuki? So Tanjiro then says, stop trying to kill my sister. He's like, so your sister's an Otsutsuki? He's like, no, she's a demon. And he's like, well, then you're a demon. And he's like, can you just stop? She was turned into a demon. She wasn't born a demon. And he's like, okay, so I'm going to kill her. And Tanjiro says to her, stop it. Just stop it. Get some help. So time skip to when they're at the Hashira place. So Tanjiro's people are trying to hold Tanjiro down. Of course, he's just letting them hold him down for now. That is until Sasami arrives, or the wind pillar arrives, and he says he goes to stab Nezuko, but all of a sudden a sword floats in front of him and blocks him. Points itself at his throat. He's like, whose sword's that? Who's there? He just kind of he goes like swinging it, the air around the sword, trying to figure out who's there. Of course, no one's there. It's Tanjiro controlling it. Gyo says, Tanjiro, stop trying to kill a pillar. And Tanjiro's like, I'm not killing any pillars. I'm just trying to stop him from hurting my sister. So at this point, everyone's like, wait, you're the one using that sword? But you're, like, held down. You're not really doing much. So Tanjiro then just kind of stands up, because the people can't hold him down. They think they were holding him down, but he wasn't even pushing against them. So he stands up, and he grabs his sister's box, and he opens it. He says, Rene Rebirth. No, not Rene Rebirth. King of Hell. Summoning. Yes. Bites his thumb. Hand on the ground. Summoning King of Hell. And a basically demonic creature pops out the ground. Tanjiro then just grabs his sister by the scruff of her neck and throws her in the mouth. When she comes out, she takes off the mouthpiece and she's like, what the fuck, Tanjiro? And everyone just sat there, wait, she can talk now? And Gyo's like, why didn't you do this before? And Tanjiro's like, she didn't really need it then? She then walks in the sun and she's like, I'm still a demon, right, Tanjiro? And Tanjiro's like, yes, I'm aware, Nezuko, but you don't need to rub it in. You don't even need to be mean. I just saved you from being stabbed. She's like, yeah, okay. So then the leader of the Hashira comes out and he says, so this is the two who are in breach of the laws of the demon slayers. So, the pillars are like, yes, indeed. So then Nezuko's kind of confronted the front, and the things happen to Canon, where Sasami cuts his arm and, tries to get Nezuko to bite him so he can prove that she's like a vicious demon. But Nezuko just walks away and she's like, shut up. She doesn't care, she just walks over towards her brother. So, yeah. As they're walking, Tanjiro and Nezuko go to the Butterfly Mansion, and they kind of sit there and they train. So Tanjiro trains on his, he trains on his new abilities he's found, which are using the Truth Seeker orbs effectively, Chakra Rod, his Renegons on his palm, and his Ash Killing Bone. So, he goes around training that. And of course, when one day Shinobu and Kano are watching Tanjiro train. And Tanjiro says to himself, okay, I need to get to that form again. And they're kind of looking at him like, what's he talking about? And Tanjiro's like, well, I could practice that move Dad taught me. And they're intrigued now. They're like, what did his dad teach him? And he starts doing the Hinokami Kagura dance. The dance of the fire god. Now, of course, Shinobu doesn't recognize it. Neither does Kanao. But they call over Rengoku because they see it's kind of similar to fire. So they call him over. And he's like, wow, that's the dance of the fire god. That's the breath of the sun. And I'll say Kanao doesn't know what the breath of the sun is because she's never been told, but Shinobu is like, how does he know the breath of the sun? And she's like, probably a descendant. It's like, oh, okay. So that happens. Then Tanjiro says, okay, time to try and get into that form. So bear in mind, all the pillars are now at this point now watching because they're kind of interested in what his form is. So he starts using the Breath of the Sun in tandem with his, truth-seeking orb swords. And then he says, karma, release. And I'll say, his karma kind of keeps him looking human mostly, but it also, it basically allows him to transform into his Otsutsuki form. He has an Otsutsuki himself, it's just like, the Otsutsuki form allows him to transform as well, so he can stay human. So he does the transformation Otsutsuki, and he looks like he does in the thumbnail, except with white hair and horns. And lastly, like the black marks that Momoshiki had. Now, of course, the Hashiras get into like a fighting stance thinking a demon's just appeared. But then they see he's still using the Breath of the Sun, it's just a form. So they're very confused, like, is he a demon? Then Tanjiro lands and he disables the form and he's like, that takes a lot out of me. So, he opens the King of Hell, throws himself in it and walks out. And when he walks out of it, he sees all the Hashira kind of staring at him with their swords drawn like, what the fuck was that? It's like, the Hinokami Kagura or the Otsutsuki form. It's like, well, we know what the Hinokami Kagura is, but what the hell is that Otsutsuki form you're talking of? And she's like, oh, well, it's a form that I can access whenever I'm, doing it, and it's actually a godly form that I've recently learnt of. So they're like, oh, that's cool, but don't do it again, because you look so much like a demon. Now, of course, we'll skip to the palace of Muzan. Now, of course, Muzan says that there's currently 3 demons out there 4 demons he cannot keep track of now. 2 of them he was aware of. The other 2 now are no longer under his control for some reason. Now, of course, this surprises the Moons. And he's not going to just spam the lower Moons this time. He tells them all to go off and try and kill the boy with the Hanafuda earrings and the white cloak, Hiyori. And that's all for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I know it was short, but it's as much as I can really manage today. So thanks for watching, have a great day, and goodbye. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so we can get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the week. Bye.